American Cup Series finale at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 39-year-old veteran Grant Adcox, a Tennessee driver known for his ARCA Series victories and his eternal ambition to reach the big leagues, takes the starting line. His bright red number 22 Oldsmobile Cutlass looked confident, but the race quickly descended into chaos. On lap 202, with cars approaching 160 miles per hour, something went wrong. According to one theory, a front tire blew out. Another, the suspension failed. The car suddenly lost traction and flew straight into the concrete barrier of turn 1. The impact was devastating. So powerful that Grant's seat was ripped free and his body literally slammed into the cockpit structure. The car burst into flames and rolled to the inside of the track. When marshals arrived, Adcox showed no signs of life. Doctors later reported massive chest and head trauma, as well as cardiac arrest from the force of the impact. He died minutes later in an Atlanta hospital. It was later determined that the primary cause of death was an improperly secured driver's seat. By the following season, NASCAR had changed its rules for securing seats and restraints inside the cockpit. Grant Adcox's life ended at speed, but his death helped save dozens of other drivers after him. American driver Joe Weatherly, 41, a two-time NASCAR champion, 1962-63, and winner of 25 NASCAR victories, drove for a team managed by Bud Moore. In the fifth race of the 1964 season, at the winding Riverside Road course, Weatherly was leading the overall standings. His number 8 Mercury Marauder completed the first lap's company, but then the car began to struggle, suggesting a possible breakaway or brake failure. On one of the turns, turn 6, his car veered off the track, striking the driver's side of the car against the steel barrier. Weatherly wasn't wearing a shoulder seat belt, and the car didn't have a window net. He'd chosen to remove it, fearing he'd become trapped in the burning car. During the collision, his head flew out the car window and struck the barrier wall. The impact was fatal. Weatherly died instantly from a traumatic brain injury. His death wasn't just a tragedy. It became the starting point for NASCAR safety reforms. Following this incident, mandatory window nets and shoulder seat belts were instituted. Hickory Motor Speedway, North Carolina. The asphalt is scorching hot. The air is shimmering. The temperature is nearly 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius, and in the cockpit of a race car, it reaches 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius. 45-year-old Bobby Isaac, the 1970 NASCAR champion and one of the most respected and composed drivers of his generation, takes the start line in the late model Sportsman Series. His red and white Dodge looks confident. He knows the track inside out. It's home. After all, it was here that he began his career 20 years ago. But after just the first dozen laps, it's clear Isaac is suffering. In his helmet, sweat streams down his face, his breathing is heavy, his body is losing moisture. He grips the steering wheel as if afraid he might pass out right there. Over the radio, he briefly tells his mechanic, "It's hot. Too hot." After a few laps, his breathing is labored. He's still struggling, holding on to 4th place, but on lap 94, he abruptly turns into the pit lane. The team thinks there's a problem with the car, but Isaac opens the door himself and climbs out. His hands are shaking. His eyes are clouded. He barely manages to say, "I feel sick." Seconds later, he collapses onto the concrete. Mechanics and doctors rush to his aid, but his pulse is weak. His heart, exhausted by the heat and overheating, gives out. He is taken to Catawba Memorial Hospital, where they spend several hours trying to save him. At 12:45 a.m., doctors pronounce him dead, cardiac arrest caused by heat stress and dehydration. It would later be revealed that Isaac had been complaining of chest pains for several weeks, but refused to miss races. For him, driving was his whole life. Following this tragedy, NASCAR revised its standards for medical clearance, cooling, and hydration for drivers. Isaac became the first driver to die not from a crash, but from his own body, which couldn't withstand the extreme conditions. January 15th, 1978. Riverside International Speedway awakens to the roar of engines. A routine NASCAR modified practice session is underway. 42-year-old Sonny Easley, a seasoned and calm veteran, had already completed hundreds of such sessions. His Chevrolet Modified looked confident, until the track was blanketed by yellow flags. During a slow lap under the yellow flag, his car skids slightly onto the shoulder. A thin layer of sand and oil becomes a trap. The car loses traction, goes sideways, and spins across the track. In a matter of moments, he easily slams into a tool trailer and a pit crew's pickup truck, parked too close to the roadway. The impact was devastating. A screech of metal, flying debris, dust, and smoke. Mechanic Douglas Grant, standing nearby, was pinned between the cars. His death was instantaneous. Sonny Easley suffered fatal head and chest injuries. Rescuers pulled him from the wreckage, already lifeless. An investigation would later reveal that the tragedy could have been avoided. The trailer simply shouldn't have been parked there. This incident became one of the turning points that forced NASCAR to revise its pit stop and practice safety regulations. August 10, 1975, Talladega Superspeedway. Dwayne Tiny Lund, 45, was a literal giant. His nickname, Tiny, was a joke. Over 260 pounds, a massive frame, but an effortless driving style. He was a NASCAR Grand National East champion and a veteran of numerous series. That day, he was competing in the Talladega 500 behind the wheel of a Dodge Charger. On lap 7, a massive accident broke out ahead. More than 10 cars collided on the back straight. Tiny tried to avoid the impact, but his Charger collided sideways with Terry Link's overturned car. The impact struck the driver's door. The bodywork instantly deformed, the steering column bent, and Lund was pinned in the cockpit. A fire broke out. Fuel from a damaged fuel cell spilled under the car. The cockpit was engulfed in flames within seconds. Rescuers reached him too late. He died from severe chest injuries and burns without regaining consciousness. The track fell silent. Tiny Lund was more than just a race car driver. He had once saved another driver's life in a crash, pulling him from a fire. And now, he himself had died in the same flames. This tragedy was one of the key reasons why NASCAR later implemented next-generation fire-resistant suits, quick-release harnesses, and improved fuel cells. Lund became the last NASCAR driver to die in a car fire while fully equipped. All these tragic incidents have become part of NASCAR racing history. But motorsport as a whole has become safer because of such incidents. Mort was with you. Like and subscribe to the channel.